Marcus Aurelius once said, "Respect is as essential to our nature as food or water." In our journey through life, we are bound to encounter disrespect in various forms. The way we handle these experiences can significantly shape our character and affect our mental peace. Stoic philosophy provides 10 vital lessons that can guide us in turning these negative experiences into opportunities for growth. Number 1, perception is the key. First and foremost, when it comes to dealing with disrespect, the crucial lesson to grasp is that perception is the key. Stoicism, at its very core, emphasizes the pivotal role of perception in our lives. It is not the incident of disrespect that distresses us, but rather our perception of it. We often become upset, not because of the disrespectful act itself, but because of the way we perceive and interpret it. As the famous quote by Charles R. Swindoll goes, "Life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we react to it." This quote captures the essence of Stoic philosophy. It is our reactions to and interpretations of external events like disrespect that truly impact us, not the events themselves. If we can alter our perception, we can change our reaction and in turn our reality. Disrespect can only affect us if we let it, if we choose to perceive it as something harmful. Stoicism imparts an invaluable lesson. We are in control of our perception. Irrespective of the external circumstances or the actions of others, we can choose how we perceive and react to these events. Disrespect hence becomes not an absolute negative experience, but rather a relative one based on our perception. This Stoic concept of perception lends us a powerful tool in managing disrespect. When someone says or does something negative, we can see it as a chance to improve ourselves instead of taking it personally. We can learn to detach ourselves from the negative connotations associated with disrespect and see it as a reflection of the offender, not the offended. If we train ourselves to manage our perception, we are no longer at the mercy of external events. We become masters of our mind, choosing to perceive disrespect not as a personal attack, but as a call for introspection and self-improvement. I want to extend a special invitation to you. If you're passionate about personal growth and are eager to navigate life with wisdom, make sure you stick with us till the end of this video, as each lesson could be the turning point you've been seeking. Now let's start this enlightening journey together. Number 2, harness emotional resilience. As we evolve our understanding of Stoicism, transitioning from focusing on perception to building emotional resilience is the natural next step. Emotional resilience, a central tenet of Stoic philosophy, is the ability to adapt to stressful situations or crises effectively. Armed with this trait, individuals find it easier to deal with disrespect and other challenging situations. Seneca, another influential Stoic philosopher, said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This timeless wisdom teaches us that our emotional suffering is often self-inflicted and magnified by our perceptions. Emotional resilience is the antidote to this self-inflicted pain. It allows us to bounce back from negative experiences like disrespect by regulating our emotional response to them. Stoicism teaches us that emotional resilience is not innate, but can be cultivated through continual practice and mindfulness. By understanding that our feelings are a reaction to our perceptions of events, not the events themselves, we gain the power to control our emotional responses. Emotional resilience is about nurturing this power and using it to manage our emotions effectively. Emotional resilience stands as a strong defense against the negative impact of disrespect. When disrespected, resilient individuals do not let it deter their mental peace. They understand that disrespect is a reflection of the offender's character, not theirs. This understanding helps them respond calmly and wisely, avoiding the disrespect from becoming personal. Seneca's teachings on emotional resilience show us the way to build our emotional endurance. He encourages us to mentally rehearse worst-case scenarios, known as premeditatio malorum in Stoicism. This practice helps us anticipate potential disrespect and prepare our emotional responses, thereby cultivating emotional resilience. As Seneca suggested, he robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand. Number 3, the dichotomy of control. Building on the understanding of perception and emotional resilience, we now transition to another cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. The dichotomy of control, a critical tenet of Stoicism, divides the world into things that we can control and things we cannot. Epictetus famously said, "In life, our first job is this, to divide and distinguish things into 2 categories. Externals I cannot control, but the choices I make with regard to them I do control. Where will I find good and bad? In me, in my choices." Understanding and embracing the dichotomy of control is incredibly liberating. It allows us to focus our mental energy on the things that are within our control, our attitudes, beliefs, and reactions, and accept the things outside our control, including the behavior and opinions of others. This understanding can significantly mitigate the hurtful impact of disrespect, helping us see it as an external event, beyond our control and not worth disturbing our inner peace. When we dissect the act of disrespect through the lens of the dichotomy of control, we find that the hurtful words or actions of others are precisely that, actions of others not within our control. However, how we interpret these words or actions, how much importance we assign to them, and the emotional response we decide to give are all within our control. Realizing the dichotomy of control, we can choose not to allow the actions of others to upset us, and instead treat them with indifference. We can view disrespect as an opportunity to exercise our control over our reactions and demonstrate our emotional resilience. This reaction is not a sign of weakness or acceptance, but a clear indication of strength, self-worth, and wisdom. Therein lies the power of the dichotomy of control. It enables us to maintain our equanimity in the face of disrespect, focusing on our response rather than the disrespectful act itself. It teaches us to treat the opinions and actions of others as external events, unable to affect us unless we allow them. If you want to know more about how to stay peaceful and silent even when faced with tough times, subscribe here for all the latest tips and lessons. Be part of a group that loves growing and learning and doesn't shy away from difficulties. Number 4, Stoic empathy. Building upon the foundation of perception, emotional resilience, and the dichotomy of control, we now delve into yet another profound facet of Stoic philosophy: Stoic empathy. Empathy, in Stoic philosophy, is more than simply understanding another's feelings. It involves stepping into their shoes, seeing things from their perspective, and developing a deeper understanding of their actions. Empathy, thus, acts as a shield, deflecting the negative impact of disrespect. Marcus Aurelius captured Stoic empathy in his quote, "When another blames you or hates you, or people voice similar criticisms, go to their souls, penetrate inside, and see what sort of people they are. You will realize that there is no need to be racked with anxiety that they should hold any particular opinion about you." This insightful quote encourages us to empathize with those who disrespect us. Instead of reacting impulsively, we're guided to step back, delve into their psyche, and understand their reasons. This approach can reveal that their disrespect may stem from their personal issues, insecurities, or ignorance. Recognizing this can mitigate the sting of disrespect, as we'd understand that it has more to do with them than with us. The practice of Stoic empathy allows us to respond to disrespect with understanding, patience, and kindness, rather than anger or hurt. It fosters a sense of compassion towards the offenders, lessening the negative emotional impact on us. Furthermore, it helps us not to take disrespect personally, thereby preserving our inner peace and equanimity. In essence, Stoic empathy empowers us to respond to disrespect in a wise and balanced manner. It reminds us that everyone, including those who disrespect us, is fighting their inner battles. By empathizing with them, we can put their disrespectful actions into perspective and respond with resilience, patience, and kindness. Number 5, the virtue of patience. Taking the lesson of Stoic empathy further, we move into another core element of Stoic philosophy, the virtue of patience. As Marcus Aurelius suggested, cooperation is intrinsic to our nature. To fortify this cooperation and respond to disrespect with wisdom and serenity, practicing patience is indispensable. Stoicism places a strong emphasis on patience, seeing it as a virtue that empowers us to endure adversity and disrespect with grace. As we navigate through life, we will inevitably encounter situations and individuals that challenge our peace of mind. Disrespect, in particular, can provoke reactions that disturb our tranquility and potentially lead to conflicts. However, the virtue of patience helps to temper these reactions. Patience, in the Stoic sense, is not about passively accepting whatever comes our way. Rather, it is an active, conscious effort to maintain composure in the face of disrespect. When we exercise patience, we choose to respond rather than react to the disrespectful actions of others. This response is characterized by understanding, resilience, and a refusal to be disturbed by the negative behavior of others. Seneca often spoke of patience and endurance. In his writings, he emphasized that patience is not an innate quality, but a virtue we can cultivate and strengthen with continuous practice. His teachings offer valuable insights into understanding how patience can serve as a shield in our fight against disrespect. Seneca once wrote, "Fire tests gold, suffering tests brave men." Here, he brilliantly captures the essence of patience. Just as fire purifies gold, difficult situations like instances of disrespect test our patience and potentially strengthen our character. How can we use patience to combat disrespect? Quite simply, patience provides us the time and space to mitigate the immediate emotional impact of disrespect. It allows us to momentarily step back, assess the situation logically, and choose a response that aligns with our values, rather than being governed by our initial emotional reactions. Through patience, we can see the person behind the disrespectful behavior and realize that their actions are often more indicative of their struggles than of our worth. Patience lets us empathize with them without condoning their behavior, reducing the likelihood of escalating the situation. Shifting our focus from the virtue of patience, we now proceed to another fundamental Stoic principle: wisdom. Wisdom, like patience, is a powerful tool against disrespect. It gives us insight to understand and navigate challenging situations. Number 6, wisdom to distinguish. Wisdom forms an integral aspect of Stoicism, guiding us in distinguishing between what we can control and what we cannot. When faced with disrespect, it aids us in discerning the root of the behavior. We can determine whether the disrespect is a projection of the other person's internal struggles or if it is an area where we need to grow. Wisdom does not merely help us differentiate these aspects, but also guides us in choosing our reactions. Epictetus once said, "It's not things that upset us, but our judgment about things." This quote brilliantly encapsulates the role of wisdom in Stoicism. It highlights that our reactions are not shaped by the actions of others, but by our judgments about these actions. When we view disrespect through the lens of wisdom, we see it as a reflection of the other person's state of mind rather than a comment on our character. This shift in perspective reduces the emotional impact of disrespect, enabling us to respond with understanding and patience. Wisdom in Stoicism also helps us realize that our reactions to disrespect are within our control, while the actions of others are not. When confronted with disrespect, we can choose to let it disturb our peace of mind or see it as an opportunity for personal growth. This wisdom results in a proactive rather than reactive approach to disrespect, allowing us to handle such situations with equanimity. Number 7, living according to nature. Transitioning from the profound role of wisdom in our Stoic journey, let us now delve into yet another cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, the principle of living according to nature. Living according to nature, in the realm of Stoicism, does not necessarily advocate for an ascetic lifestyle. Instead, it suggests living true to our rational nature, aligning our thoughts, words, and actions with our intrinsic values. It fosters a sense of inner harmony, enabling us to navigate life's adversities, such as disrespect, with composure and resilience. When we live in harmony with our nature, we develop a strong sense of self-worth, rooted in our actions and values rather than the opinions of others. This self-worth acts as a shield, mitigating the emotional impact of disrespect. We understand that the disrespectful actions of others are out of alignment with our nature, and thus do not shake our inner peace. Marcus Aurelius underscored the importance of living according to nature in his writings. He once wrote, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." This quote, rich in wisdom, reminds us that our perception of disrespect is subjective, influencing our emotional reaction to it. When we live in accordance with our rational nature, we see disrespect as a reflection of the offender's perspective rather than a statement of our worth. This shift in perspective allows us to handle disrespect with understanding and patience, reducing its emotional toll. Living according to nature also equips us to discern between what is within our control and what is not, an essential Stoic wisdom. We realize that while we have no control over the disrespectful actions of others, our reaction to them is within our purview. Thus, we can choose to respond to disrespect in a way that aligns with our nature, with understanding, patience, and resilience. Number 8. The power of forgiveness. Building upon the principle of living according to nature, we now tread on the rewarding path of forgiveness as a means of dealing with disrespect, a central teaching of Stoic philosophy. The practice of forgiveness, deeply rooted in Stoic teachings, presents a liberating perspective on handling disrespect, underscoring the power of our inner resilience and ability to control our reactions. According to Stoicism, the act of forgiveness is an extension of living according to nature. It is an embodiment of wisdom, understanding, and empathy, virtues that we've discussed in the previous lessons. When we choose to forgive, we acknowledge that the offender's actions are beyond our control, but our reaction to them is within our power. This realization resonates with the Stoic wisdom we have been embracing so far, the clear boundary between what lies in our influence and what doesn't. Aligning with the tenets of Stoicism, forgiveness liberates us from the chains of resentment and anger that often follow an act of disrespect. Forgiveness, in essence, is a choice that we make to free ourselves from the burden of negativity. It serves as a balm for our emotional wounds, allowing us to heal and move forward with our lives. Seneca often reflected on the power of forgiveness. He once stated, "While we hate, we are being chained, and we are not permitted to come loose or to lift up our eyes to discern the truth." This wisdom reminds us that harboring resentment only intensifies our suffering, hindering our ability to see things objectively. By forgiving, we break these chains and liberate ourselves from the emotional turmoil, reclaiming our peace and equanimity. Forgiving those who disrespect us symbolizes our victory over emotional distress. It speaks volumes about our strength and resilience, reflecting our commitment to lead a virtuous life in alignment with Stoicism's principles. Furthermore, it propagates understanding and empathy, as we recognize that the offender's actions likely stem from their internal struggles and shortcomings rather than anything to do with us. Importantly, forgiveness does not equate to condoning disrespectful behavior. Rather, it means embracing our Stoic wisdom to understand that people's actions are often a reflection of their internal state, not of our worth. We can forgive and still assert our boundaries, maintaining our dignity and self-respect. Number 9. Inner peace and tranquility. Building upon the power of forgiveness, we now turn our attention towards the Stoic pursuit of inner peace and tranquility, a key element in handling disrespect and maintaining a grounded and serene demeanor. Achieving inner peace, according to Stoicism, allows us to weather any storm, no matter how seemingly disrespectful or disruptive it may be. It involves the careful cultivation of a serene mind, not influenced by external influences and grounded in the strength of our Stoic virtues. Through this inner tranquility, we gain the ability to approach instances of disrespect or conflict with composure and understanding, rather than succumbing to emotional struggle. Epictetus once remarked, "He who is tranquil in mind disturbs neither himself nor another." This profound statement encapsulates the Stoic belief in the power of tranquility. A tranquil mind, unflustered by external circumstances, remains stable even in the face of disrespect or derision. It is not perturbed by the actions or words of others, but instead understands that such behaviors reflect the character of the offender, not the victim. By cultivating inner peace and tranquility, we begin to see disrespect not as a personal attack, but as an external event that we can choose to engage with or dismiss. This level of emotional detachment allows us to maintain our composure and respond with understanding and patience, rather than reacting impulsively or defensively. We retain control over our emotional equilibrium, preserving our mental state and thus our inner peace. Inner peace and tranquility are not about suppressing or ignoring our emotions. Rather, they involve understanding and managing our emotional responses in a healthy, rational manner. We acknowledge our feelings without letting them dictate our reactions, thus practicing emotional intelligence, a skill highly valued in Stoic philosophy. Number 10. The power of silence. Just as we have explored the Stoic pursuit of inner peace and tranquility, it is equally critical to comprehend the Stoic approach to silence, a potent tool that enables us to preserve our serenity amidst chaos. The practice of silence, embraced by Stoic philosophy, holds immense power in the face of disrespect, contributing significantly to our resilience and personal growth. It acts as a shield, protecting our inner peace from the jarring noises of external provocations. The Stoic philosophy hinges on the understanding that silence is not an empty void, but a space full of potential. It is a realm where our thoughts can flourish, unencumbered by the disturbances of external chaos. Stoics find in silence a refuge that nurtures self-reflection, introspection, and a deeper understanding of oneself. Epictetus once proclaimed, "No man is free who cannot command himself." In the context of silence, this quote emphasizes the strength inherent in our ability to remain reserved amidst provocation. It suggests that the power to remain silent when faced with disrespect is a testament to our self-control and emotional discipline, two cornerstones of Stoic philosophy. Silence, according to Stoicism, is not about passive acceptance or inaction. Rather, it represents active restraint and conscious decision-making. By choosing to remain silent, we refuse to engage in unproductive confrontations or to be swayed by disrespectful remarks. Instead, we maintain our focus on our inner tranquility, thereby conserving our mental energy for pursuits that align with our values and virtues. Moreover, Stoics recognize silence as a strategic tool when dealing with disrespect. By responding with silence, we disrupt the cycle of reaction and counter-reaction, often leaving the offender at a loss. Our refusal to retaliate or engage at the same level not only maintains our emotional stability, but also sends a powerful message about our strength and resilience. The strategic use of silence extends beyond interpersonal conflicts. Stoics apply it as a general principle in life, using silent periods for contemplation, self-reflection, and personal growth. These moments of silence allow us to reconnect with our virtues, gain clarity over our thoughts, and reinforce our commitment to a Stoic life. Understanding and leveraging the power of silence does not entail suppressing our emotions or ignoring disrespect. Instead, it's about discerning when to speak and when to withhold, when to engage and when to retreat into the power of silence. This practice, deeply ingrained in Stoic teachings, enhances our resilience to external provocations and contributes significantly to our personal growth. After delving into the 10 lessons of Stoic philosophy, we've discovered numerous strategies to handle disrespect. These principles are not just philosophical ideas, but practical tools that help us deal with disrespect and stay peaceful. As we journey through life and face its difficulties, let's always remember these valuable lessons. In the spirit of wisdom and greatness, never forget: be great, be wise, be stoic,